Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So finally, after like a week or two or something like that, I'm finally getting to my free-for-all tier list that I've been meaning to do. So I'll just dive right into it. First up we have Construct. Construct goes right into the good at free-for-all. The reason why he's good at free-for-all is just because he has all the tools he needs to really thrive in it. His dash is really good because he can't be knocked back mid-dash. And then he can also bully a lot of people with his extended attack range. Not to mention, good construct players will just kind of demolish people in general. I find that construct does a bit worse against ranged characters, assuming that the person playing the ranged characters, they know what they're doing and everything. But overall, I think he does thrive in free-for-all pretty well. Next up, we have Ryan. Ryan's also very good at free-for-all. He's just an all-around really solid character. I just really like Ryan. His range attack is really strong. You can hit multiple people with it, get your ult up. In case you get bullied off the stage by multiple people, if you have your ult, you can always teleport back onto the stage, which is lovely. You can use your dash to kind of like interrupt fights. So normally in 1v1s, your dash is pretty useless. But in free-for-all, let's say there's two people fighting in front of you and they don't notice you, you can just charge up your dash and hit one of them off, and it's disgusting. Overall, just a really solid character. Next up, we have Reina. Reina is okay. I find that she can kind of like flex between good and weaker, but we'll put her in between. The reason why is because honestly, Reina's a really strong character, but she gets held back by one of two things, which is the player's like ability to aim or ping. Those are the two issues that really stop her from thriving, and it's honestly kind of a shame. And it's more so ping issues rather than like player skill that hold her back. You'll find that a lot of your arrows end up going through people for like literally no reason. And that's not counting like side dashing or like guarding or anything. Like they can literally be like staring at you, you shoot an arrow at them and they don't move, and it's weird. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who has this issue, but it's crazy how often it happens to me. If we don't include that, then I think that she goes into the pretty good. Actually, yeah, I'll move her up. She could just hit people from a distance. She doesn't necessarily need to be involved with the fighting. Two people can fight, and then she can kind of put her 2 cents in with her charged up arrows, or even her ultimate. She can get many cheeky kills just by existing. Overall, pretty good for free-for-all. Next up, we have Pak 2. I'm actually not sure where I want to put Pak 2. I'm between okay and good. He has a lot of good qualities, but I think he goes into the okay. So Pak 2 can definitely hold his own against a lot of characters. And I feel like Pak 2 is a noob stomper. Once you figure out how to side dash and guard at the same time, he becomes less of an issue because he can't edge guard or guard you as well. He'll have a hard time getting his ultimate, which is his best tool. Pak 2 is actually kind of like mediocre when he doesn't have his ult up, besides his right click, of course. But his right click can be dealt with if you know how to side dash correctly. Yeah, that's what I think. If you can get Pak 2's ult relatively quickly, then I think that's how you'll be successful with him, because then you can kind of go to the Reina playstyle where you can like shove people off with your range attack or punch them off. You can always spike them down. It's very hard. It's actually almost impossible to do with Proc 2 ult directly. Besides just avoiding it. So yeah. Next up, Poppy. So she goes into the best of free-for-all because of a few reasons, actually. First, her camping playstyle is just supreme. It can't be. Can it be beaten? I don't know. I don't think so. I've never seen anyone actually like win against a Poppy that's just like camping. The only people that really have a chance against it are like the range characters like Reina or Elena, you know, the range characters, and any melee character just loses to it instantly. Even not counting her camping playstyle, if the Poppy plays aggressive, she can hit multiple people with her goop, and it's very easy to catch people off guard when they're at low energy. So you can get a lot of free kills just by gooping people and kicking them instantly. You'll get your ult very quickly because multiple people will be standing in your pools. Her kit just really complements free-for-all just because of her zoning capability. Next we have a Rash. A Rash is... I was contemplating putting him into the awful. Wait, oops. But I think he goes into the weaker category. And the reason why he isn't an awful is because conditionally, sometimes you can hit people with your grenades when they're not looking at you and get kills that way. And if you can actually hit your grenade, it's really good. It does a lot of knockback. It's actually like a pretty effective kill move, especially if you can like throw it slightly above them and you spike them down. It's really like effective. It's just, if people notice that you're throwing grenades and everything, they're gonna avoid it and then they're gonna come after you, which makes them kind of worse. You can you can sometimes ult away and go invisible and kind of make them start attacking each other again. But you're not gonna always have your ult up. Not to mention, it doesn't really have any recovery that's reliable. So he's very close to being the worst, but he's not quite the worst. Next we have Hamza. Hamza just gets outshined by a lot of the characters. His kit's actually really solid. It's just a shame because his basic attack is just so hard to actually hit on people who don't want to be hit. Like, it's damn near impossible to actually hit people. If Hamza could actually get his basic attacks off, I could see him going into the okay, or even good, if people can aim with a slingshot. But just because the hitbox on his swing is like non-existent, like it's just impossible. Not to mention people just run away from you when you have your ult up. It's really tragic for Hamza. I feel bad for the Hamza mains out there. Next we have Zhao. So Zhao, he's a really strong character. Just overall, his basic attacks have huge range for some unknown reason. He can also right click you from anywhere across the map at any time, at any point, whenever he wants. And so he basically has his ult up all the time. I don't think this should really be a reason why Zhao shouldn't have his ult up, but he can just right click you from across the map and there's nothing that you can do about it. Not to mention his recovery is really good if the Zhao player actually decides to use it, which a lot of Zhao players don't. I don't know why. Yeah, so that's Zhao. He's just overall really strong character. He can zone like Reina, although he can't get kills. He can steal kills though, so you can always just right click someone that's about to get knocked out and steal the kill, because that's how the game works. I don't know, I'm not sure how healthy that is for the game, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Zhao. Just overall, just really strong character. Next up is Seth. Seth, I really like Seth in free-for-all. He's actually a really fun character to play in free-for-all. He has his spin, his right click, which is really good, because you get multiple people with it, obviously, and everything, which can devastate people. he has a lot of his attacks you can attack and shield at the same time, which makes it very safe for him just to be in the middle of the fight while like damaging people. And he gets his ult up very quickly as well. Now, something that a lot of people don't realize with Seth is how his E works. In free-for-all, you can stack so much damage without dying. So if you can get the like 400, 500, 600 damage like saved up on yourself, and then E someone, they're dead. I mean, you were also dead in the process, but that is very good if, let's say, you just kill someone and they're at 0 damage, so they're literally fresh, and then you E them, and then you kill them again, but then you kill yourself. Like, giving yourself that advantage is really good, and you can do it to multiple people because it's a big cylinder that's on the map that they can get hit by. It's really good. And that's not even counting his ultimate. He gets his ultimate very quickly, and he can just slap you, and it's very hard to actually like deal with it. You kind of just have to run away. I feel like Seth tends to have the same problem with Hamza, although his attack range with the ult is a little bit bigger than Hamza's, so he doesn't suffer as bad as Hamza does from this issue when he's in his ult. But I don't know, I just think Seth is very strong. Next up we have Walter. Walter he does best in free-for-all. He's a very explosive character, so he dashes in, he hits you a few times, and he ults, and it's just like, oh my god. He can get a lot of kills with it. The better players will be expecting it, and they won't get fooled by it with how like quickly he can get his ult. And if they're ready to knockback cancel it, there's a lot of moves that you can use to counter it. For example, on Construct, as we know, when Construct dashes, he can't get knocked back. Construct can actually dash, and if Walter ults while Construct is mid-dash, Construct's dash will just absorb it. Which is, like, mind-boggling. The game could just sometimes glitch out, too, where you're just, like, chilling inside his ult and, like, nothing happens, and you just don't get hit by it, and you're like, okay. And then his ult is kind of useless then, because you can just kind of just hit him and bully him like his ult. Like, you can just pretend like his ult's not even there. So overall, I think Walter is kind of, he's okay. He can sometimes get 2-3 kills if he gets lucky, potentially, or if he like catches someone off guard. But I think he kind of falls into the same category as Pac too, where he's like a noob stomper. His recovery is also very good. So, and I think that is a pretty valuable skill to have in free-for-all, where if you get hit by something, you can just recover all the time. He also has the ability to stall, which I think is also a very underappreciated thing. So let's say you get knocked off as Walter, right? And then you umbrella. And you're just like, you could just float in the air, and there's nothing that anyone can do to like hurt you because you're like really far away, but you're like slowly floating down. So the players aren't gonna like sit there and like wait for you to die. They're gonna start fighting each other. So while you're floating down very slowly, the other players will start to pick each other off, and maybe 2 or 3, 4 lives will be like taken by the time you actually fall to the death box and like come back. So now all of a sudden you're at a stock advantage just for stalling your own death, which is, once again, I don't think that is very healthy for the game, but it's in the game, so well, use it while you can, I guess. Or don't. That'd be cool too. Next up we have Elena. I'm contemplating if I want to put her in a good or okay. I find that she does pretty good in free-for-all. Her right click is very strong at just keeping multiple people at bay. You can hit multiple people with it. It's a very nice move. The hitbox is a bit weird, but it works sometimes. When it does work, it's very nice. I think it's like the same issue Reina has, where like ping will stop projectiles from just working entirely for some reason. I don't really understand, but your ult can hit multiple people. You can spike them down very easily with it. Your turret is very nice. You can create like a safe zone for yourself, so you just place down the turret and then you stay in the range, and people will not want to mess with you. Overall, just a really solid character. I really like her in Free For All. Next up is the person, I still can't pronounce her name, Military Man. Don't play this character. That's just don't. The sad part is, he would actually be like a pretty decent character if his energy cost wasn't so absurdly high. Like, this dude can't do anything without having like over half his energy taken. He literally fires one shot and that's like 40 energy. And I'm like, it's just why? His flashbang takes 70, so you can't even shoot or anything after you flashbang. You just blind yourself and then the other person, and you're like, why did I even use this move? This character's just at the very best. You see two people fighting and you flashbang them to be annoying. That's the best that you can do on this character. It's really tragic. Next up, we have Charlemagne. So this is personally my favorite character to play in Free For All. I think he's really strong in Free For All. You will, if you play this character correctly, you will find yourself getting 2 or 3 kills normally. He controls the battlefield so hard with his ultimate, and even just with his E. There's just so much zoning happening all the time. There's just nothing that you can do about it. So people will naturally start to target you. But as they start to target you, you can start to line up more right clicks to hit multiple of them. So each right click, you're getting 20 ult charge, 30 ult charge per right click. And then by the time they finally catch you, you ult and then you toss them off the stage, and now you have all your energy back because you were on the ground. Charlemagne he has so much CC and crowd. I won't say he has a bunch of CC. The only CC he has is his ult, but he has just a lot of zoning capability, like in general, that people don't know how to deal with, and it's really entertaining. And plus, just being able to interrupt the fight and then kill 2 or 3 people at a time per ult is just really valuable. Normally he would go lower on the list since he doesn't have a good recovery or anything like that, but just his defensive zoning capability that he can use to protect himself kind of makes up for him not having a good recovery. Next, we have Don. So Don is, I think he's okay. So he doesn't have any really defining strengths in Free For All. The only thing that he really does super well in Free For All is his ultimate. So you can throw his ultimate and hit multiple people with it. You can potentially spike people with it. I feel like that's the only really advantage that he gets in Free For All. Everything else you can kind of do in 1v1s. You can also, what happens a lot, well, not a lot, but something that happens sometimes is you'll find that you'll see someone edgeguarding someone else. So that person may or may not be high percent, it depends. But they're waiting for the other person to try to recover. So you can run up to the person that's on the stage, like waiting for the other person to recover, and you can E them for free because they'll be standing still or they'll be strafing side to side, and they'll be looking away from you. They'll be looking at the person that's like trying to recover, trying to like edgeguard them. But you can kind of collect that person over by just like RKOing them off the stage. Which you may or may not kill. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on their percent. But that's something that you can kind of take advantage of when you're playing Dawn. Next up, we have Fiona. We all know where she's going. Straight to the top. Do I even need to explain why Fiona's at the top? She just doesn't die, ever. It's just constant teleports. She knockback cancels everything. There's like literally no point attacking this character. A very few select characters can kind of shut her down. So those characters kind of can stop her sometimes. But besides that, Fiona is just disgusting. I hate this character so much. I hope she gets nerfed soon. She's just absolutely ridiculous. Gonzalo is up next. Where do I want to put you? Definitely not in weak or awful. Somewhere between good and okay. I'll put him into the good. So, Gonzalo, he's a very hard character to play. You need to be able to get your crits off. With your... What ability is that? Is unique? I have my button changed around, so I can't remember what it is. But it's... If you can crit people with that, like, consistently, and keep them out of good range, and then use your... Wait, yeah. That's unique. And then you can use your special when you can to go in on them and grapple yourself to them. If you use those abilities correctly, then I think he's a very strong character. He has a nice ultimate for free-for-all. It's just literally a big circle that hits all around him. And it's a pretty good kill move. It gets everyone off of you if there's multiple people attacking you or anything like that. So it's very safe. I really like it. So I think he's overall a really solid character. I'm just looking at Charlemagne and Gonzalo, and it feels wrong that they're like together. I'm gonna put him down here because I don't think I'm contemplating putting Charlemagne up here and then Gonzalo like that. So Charlemagne's best set free for all now. Next up's Hannah. Hannah is just... I found that she's just not a good character overall. There's like literally like a total of like 3 people that can make this character work and like be like really good with her. But besides that, for like literally everyone else besides those 3 people, she's just absolutely terrible. Her energy consumption's ridiculous. Her recovery move isn't effective. You're just better off using your dashes. Just overall, not a good look for Hannah at all. Except Kusanagi, not my girl, my boy. I kind of feel bad for Kusanagi. So people have this perception of how like OP Kusanagi is, and he does have a lot of strengths, but people overlook the weaknesses of the energy. The energy nerfs hit him hard, and people don't like realize that, and they're like, parry OP nerf, dash OP nerf. They just want everything nerfed. But overall, literally one of her weaknesses is that she's just not good in free for all at all, and she's still okay in 1v1s if you play her correctly and you know what you're doing. But the same strategy as before. You kind of want to like wait on the sidelines until you can isolate someone and 1v1 them, and then go in and do your 1v1 thing, Kusanagi things, and hopefully win. And you just want to keep taking those 1v1s and you want to keep winning those. And that's how you're going to be successful with Kusanagi. It feels kind of wrong putting Kusanagi next to Hannah. Because I definitely think Kusanagi's stronger than Hannah. We'll put her down in the awful. Next up's Mai. Mai is pretty... She's okay at free-for-all. Mai's weaker at free-for-all. The reason why is just because, well, if you watch my guide, you know, she gets outshined by a lot of the characters. The big AoE moves like Fiona ult, Charlemagne ult, every ult in the game. Okay, not every ult in the game, but she just gets outshined by all the big AoE abilities, and people are going to be playing those characters more often in free-for-all. She can counter this by just going invisible, and when you go invisible, people will kind of like de-aggro off you. It's really interesting. It's like literally like, and like you know those not MOBAs, MMOs, where like you have a bunch of people, like a bunch of AI coming after you, but then you hit like your cloak ability, and then all the AI just like instantly turn around, they go back to like their spawn point. It's like literally the exact same thing. People will just like, oh, well, don't know where mine went, time to turn around and go fight the other two people. So I think that makes her pretty strong. You can kind of like poke people slowly without them really noticing, and you'll get your ult, and then you can pick people off. You have to play like a bit of a rat. A lot of players, like me, will get annoyed and will track you down. But good my players won't get found or noticed very quickly, and they know how to deal with being hunted down. And you can usually take advantage of the people trying to hunt you down, because they'll leave the other two people to fight and they'll try to 1v1 you. And Mai is stronger when she's in 1v1s, so you can try to 1v1 the other person and send them flying. Lastly, we have Seth. Seth, I think she goes into the okay. I'm contemplating if I want to put her into the good. No, nah. I think she's okay. I would put her into the good, but sadly she's missing an ability. Her slowdown ability is just not good. It's awful. It needs to be replaced with another ability or like reworked entirely, because it's just terrible. Her other abilities, however, are very good. So you can always 1v1 someone. You can pull someone to like one of the islands to 1v1 them, or if you just go to the other side of the island, you can whip someone and force them into 1v1 with you. You can kind of like do your Seth like fights her on her own terms, which is something that's really strong in free-for-all. She can control the flow of the fight of the flow. If multiple people are attacking you, you can always just ult and knock everyone up or away from you. And Seth gets her ult in like 4 punches max, so that is very good. Overall, she's a pretty strong character. It's just a shame that she's literally missing an ability, which holds her back a lot. And that is my whole tier list. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if I should make a tier list for anything else, like abilities or anything. I'm down to do something like that. I just don't know if that's something you guys want to see. Just comment down below like any guides, or just like literally like if you want me to make something, just like let me know and I'll consider. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting me. We hit 100 subs, which is amazing. I am so happy about that. I feel like the channel is really growing at a nice pace, and I'm honestly really stunned about it. I'm so grateful to have you all like watch me and everything, and I'm really glad I can upload this content for you guys. But comment down below. I respond to pretty much everyone, and I read all the comments. I love reading you guys' comments. And follow my Twitter. Only 2 people follow me. So, come on, you guys gotta follow my Twitter. I post like updates about encounters. Like just this week, there was a glitch where if you played ranked 1v1s, you wouldn't lose or gain any trophies if you won or lost, which was interesting. And I was mad about it, although they did fix it, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But if you want updates like that, follow my Twitter. And yeah, thank you for watching.